Hello and welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. My name is Blake Bettner and I'm in studio today, thrilled to be joined by Kat Shoulders. Hey, Kat.
Hey.
Welcome to town.
Yeah.
You are here for a specific reason. We are on the eve of, what is it, Windup Watch Fair, New York, which by the time this goes live will have happened and been very successful, obviously.
Of course.
That's Zach Weiss right there. Hey, Zach.
Hey, everyone.
Are you ready? Are you ready for Windup?
Oh, man. I hope so.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I've got no choice. No, I'm ready.
We'll be ready. We'll be there. We'll be ready.
Everyone can hear the excitement in our voices.
Yeah.
It's pre-exhaustion. There's the lead up.
Exhaustion.
Yeah. There's like a lot of, I don't know, like a weight on our shoulders perhaps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it. This is the biggest one ever. We all have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of anticipation, and just some really, really long hours for this coming week. So I know, Blake Matlin and I were actually on the Wrist Check Pod, which I don't know when that's coming out compared to when this is coming out. So either go check that out or check it out when it does come out. That was a long night. Those guys love to chat. So
yeah.
Monday night just started off real long, kind of way late that night.
Can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. Yeah. So
Yeah, long hours. We'll have to look into some of the labor laws around.
Well, then you have to be not having fun. Right? So if you're having fun, it's overrides.
Then it's
acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just like an asterisk in the OSHA bylines.
Yeah. We all enjoy watches, so I guess it's none of it's really work. And there's Patrick. Hey, Patrick, you're gonna be you've got a busy weekend in front of you too.
I do.
Yeah,
I do indeed.
So, if you came, thank you. It was good to see you. I'm assuming. We
hope you had a great time.
Yeah, we hope you had a great time. And no, this is the first one that we're going into in the Altman building. So, I'm excited. A lot of brands, a lot of watches that I don't even some like that I haven't seen before.
So many new releases. So. Like there's we have a list of brands of new releases that are. It's like more than we could cover. You know, which is cool.
So to the brands, we're not covering all of it.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. We only have so much bandwidth.
We'll try. We'll do our best.
Zach, what are you wearing on your wrist?
Well, I am wearing the Adapt Series 1 watch in carbon.
Adapt Series 1 in carbon.
Okay. Carbon. My naming, I don't know, I came up with the names. Stuff that was, they start as like code words and they end up names kind of thing.
Like, it's already.
Yeah, there's black and blue. There's a little bit of a Batman, but it's not.
A little yellow in it.
You know, there's some other.
Call it the Nightwing instead. Be a little different. Nightwing's blue and black, right?
What was Darkwing Duck or something? Wasn't that a cartoon?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay.
That was like more black and purple.
Spin-off of
DuckTales,
Daffy Duck?
Oh, DuckTales.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those.
You might be right.
Anyway, getting a kick out of my own watch. So it's fun.
Yeah.
I got one. The one that I got is kind of colored like a piece of bubble gum. It's like blues and oranges and pinks.
It's the Terra. Terra.
Yeah. I like
cool
that one.
one.
If I was going to get one, I would
It's another
go
cool
all
name
out.
too, the Terra.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's Earth. Earth?
Yeah, but I don't know. Once again, I don't know. It made sense at the time. But now it's kind of like it's more of a volcanic kind of a color.
It must feel pretty cool to wear a watch that you designed. I can't.
It does. It's also, I also feel really like arrogant.
No.
But
you can be like,
I do really like it, and it's been very rewarding seeing that other people liked it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is the case, credit where it's due. Of course, this is based on the Boulder Venture design, so there's a lot of Boulder Venture here, but the dial and the bezel and like kind of all the graphic elements of it were redesigned by us. So it's been heavily aesthetically overhauled in our direction. So
it's very worn and wound.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Oh.
Yeah, very cool. I'll bunch you two in together since I think it's the same thing. I'm wearing a Zenith El Primero A384, the Panda configuration. I was just in Wisconsin with Zenith to take in a Packer game and meet one of their players, Aaron Rodgers.
Just one of the players.
Just the guy that does the quarterbacking there at the moment. Unfortunately, they lost the game. I can say that I'm biased. I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm like kind of a Packer fan. So it was a bummer to see them play.
You meet him before or after?
I met him after.
You ask him about the game?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
The third quarter, that toss you did.
What happened? No. We talked.
Oh man, all those downs.
The ball.
Oh God, so many yards.
Yeah. What does it feel like to do all those yards?
Yeah. And what is up with encroachment?
I have no idea.
It was cold.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you,
it looked really cold.
Yeah, that's the thing about Wisconsin. Around this time of year, it can be cold, and it was definitely cold. But it was a great experience. Lambeau Field is pretty amazing if you're a football fan. Honestly, looking at the field, it's kind of like a time capsule. Most of it kind of looks like it's just still like 1965, and not much has changed since then. So it's it was a semi-emotional experience for me. It was my first Packer game, so season tickets are like a generational thing.
Yeah,
there. So it's not exactly like an easy thing. Like you kind of got to know somebody, or they're like quite pricey. So, anyways, I didn't grow up going to these games. So this was my first game, so it was awesome to see. So thank you to Zenith there. Julian was there. A few other Zenith people were there. Got to see some really cool watches that we'll be able to talk about soon. I think if you listen to us, we're all pretty fond of Zenith watches and what they are doing. So thank you to Zenith, and I've got more on my discussion with Aaron Rodgers coming to the site very soon if it's not up yet. He was wearing a Chronomaster Sport, a black dial, black bezel. He had just come back from London and had not been able to find his white dialed version, which he normally wears. So hopefully he was able to find that. Thankfully, he was able to find the black dial one and have very sweet guy and very enamored with Zenith as well.
That's cool.
He had a trip over there to the Lock and was quite taken with the brand and their history and all that kind of stuff. So very cool stuff and very nice guy. Again, thank you to Aaron Rodgers and because I'm sure he listens to this podcast.
Yeah, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
And then and Zenith as well. So, anyways. That's a long way of saying I'm wearing a Zenith A384 right now because they've been just kind of on my mind. So, you two.
All right,
Kat.
I'll start.
You're wearing one.
I'm wearing my Grand Seiko SBGM 221. Funny story about this watch. This is the third time I've bought it.
Wow. You're kidding?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Am I wrong? Is that not a good looking model?
Oh no, it's fantastic.
It's a great looking model. This is
Yeah, the first time I bought it, it was sort of at a time, it was kind of during COVID, and I was like, that's too dressy for me. And then it was like the second time around, it was water resistance bothered me. And so it was just like, there's always a reason. But then immediately after, I just had this regret. And so bought it, picked it back up, and it's not going anywhere.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Can we just backtrack for that? So it's how water resistant?
I think I don't know. It doesn't say on the dot. It's like 30 meters.
It's 30 meters. So that's usually like
hand washing is okay.
30 meters is like.
I know.
It's like 300 feet.
I used to be a stickler about this. I used to be like 100 meters on every watch.
You're not the only person who see that. But it's funny. So we got a question. It was actually for a week in watches, but I haven't taken like a question recently. Just there's been a lot of other stuff to talk about. And it's not like it's a pretty like it's not a question that I think has a really long answer, but I feel like it plays here. So someone was wondering like how about water resistance and humidity because they I guess work in a humid environment if they need it. And like in my mind, if like any watch should be able to handle humidity. If not, you have like a bad seal. Like if humidity gets in, you're down to 0.
Yeah.
Right. But like a 30 meter watch, like a standard watch means there's some seal.
Yeah.
But they're not like encouraging you go swimming with it.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
I actually had someone from Grand Seiko reach out to me through a DM and say that, just so you know, Kat, they're tested way beyond that. So like,
well, there's also that.
Feel safe about it. Like that's what we put on the paperwork.
What subconsciously turned the
yeah. So I'm okay with it now.
I just said that to
30
make the
meters
sale and $200 off.
I have that Sin Easy M2 Hydro, which is full of oil and can in theory go to the bottom of the ocean. I've taken it about 4 inches into a pool. I mean, and it survived, so it's good by me. I just, I don't know. I know the Speedmaster people, like 50 meters in a Speedmaster. Don't, I mean, if you're diving 75 meters, find a different product. I think I have a bit of a beef with the water.
The casual swimming and the stuff, right? That most of us do in the summertime.
Yeah.
Like when I got out in the lake in the summertime, I like to put on one of like the FXT, that's in the U50, stuff like that. So now I'm going to make a point to wear my Speedmaster.
Swimming.
I go pretty deep. We have a boat there and we'll like jump off. and then swim under the boat.
Oh, wow.
So it's like,
Wow, that's gotta be 8 feet.
It's like, 8 or 9 feet. Yeah.
Which is about, what, like 2.5 meters?
Yeah, so we'll see how the Speedmaster does.
It should hold up. Just don't activate it underwater and you're good.
Yeah.
I've always wondered about humidity and extreme moisture buildup as opposed to direct water contact. Does it attack or like approach the gasket in a different way?
Well, because, I mean, the thing is, and I think maybe German watches, I may be wrong about this, but I don't think they do like 200 meters anymore. They'll do like 20 ATM because it's really a pressure test.
Right.
It's not like water specifically. So humidity in 1 atmosphere is like, that's just ambient moisture,
Right.
like when you're getting into pressure, you're getting things trying to force their way in,
Yeah.
That's that's a different. This is a different calculus that's happening.
And then there's like arm moving through, which is people always say, well, that increases the pressure, which I guess it does, but I don't know by what percentage.
Well, that's the calculus, the rate of change, obviously, from this environment to as we.
So when you're swimming with the Speedmaster, just use the one arm.
Especially since everyone here, we only own one watch. And that is the watch that we'll definitely take when we're swimming. I don't know. Not to give you shit about it. I just think it's
fine. I'll take it. I totally deserved it because I sadly got rid of it, but no, it's back now.
But it's back.
It's on a nice little green NATO. It's cool.
Yeah, please keep it. It's so
that's really good.
I love that watch.
Yeah, I've long been a fan of that one. For sure. It looks good on that. Is that a matte Supreme in like forest?
Yeah, I think so. From the Windup shop.
Olive Jade.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Is that
Good eye.
high beat or a 28.8?
That's a great question.
Probably would say high beat on the dial if it did.
Yeah.
That hand's looking
But
pretty
it's true
smooth.
GMT.
Yeah,
That hand's looking pretty smooth.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to the naked eye.
I think so.
All right. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah, a lot smoother than the watch I just got.
Okay,
Yeah, let's talk about
that's Patrick. You're sitting there. He's sitting there with
He's
no
shaking.
watch on his wrist. He's got a box in front of him.
Yeah,
And the lid is off it. It's a Grand Seiko box.
it's true.
Here's some papers ruffling here. It's
Have
like,
you actually even looked inside the box here? Are we truly getting...
No, I have no idea.
this is his first. This is his first reaction to a watch.
There could be a rock in there.
that he's
for all I know.
bought.
Yeah. So this is
From I take it. Maybe I won't say the name of where you got it.
Yeah, this was an online retailer. They were the only retailer that was stocking this watch, but it was brand new. I remember we shared it on our Slack channel when it came out, and I was enamored. I know it's modeled closely to their automatic range of GMTs. There's a green dial and a blue dial of that variant, framed window, slightly larger. But this is like a nice 39 millimeter GMT. And I bought the black and white version of it. I'm one of those freaks that likes to keep all the stuff that came with my watch because I paid for all of it. So
Because I paid for all of it.
It's all gonna go right
Every
back in
sticker
there.
on the lug.
But yeah, I love Grand Seiko. I've been wanting a GMT watch, and this is the one I got. I don't remember the reference, but it's a 9F GMT movement, the newer one.
Let's see.
He's taking off some bubble wrap. He's removing the cover, and there it is.
We have a head nod. A head nod of approval.
It exists. It's there.
It's not a rock.
It's not a rock.
All right, let's see that sucker.
Looks
wow.
good.
Okay. Lovely.
Yeah, this case is really attractive. I mean, it's a sportier looking case. You have the
Forgot
offset
these came
crown.
out. These are relatively new, right?
This came out this year.
Talk about that on a weekend watches. One second. I feel like
I don't know
Well,
if we
surely
did
it's
talk
got the
about it.
reference on the tag, right?
Right. So if you want to
Probably
know,
a Japanese reference.
it's utilizing a 9F86, which is the GMT variant of the 9F85, I suppose. SBGN 027 is the Grand Seiko reference code. So if you want to look it up, it is the black and white version of their quartz GMT. And this isn't necessarily replacing the previous reference that has I think a slightly larger case with the 3 o'clock crown.
Yeah.
This is sort of its own beast. But yeah,
Which
it
Ed
was
has, by the way, right?
Yes, it has
Correct.
one of those with the sort of
Correct.
twisted lugs on those.
for the life of me, I can't remove the plastic that they placed over the case. But I didn't wear a watch in today because I was anticipating this coming. It was delayed for 3 days. I was very, very excited to get this in. I'm happy to finally have it in. But this will be the first GMT I've ever purchased for myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I've never owned one, but we do a lot of travel at Worn and
Yeah.
Wound. And I figured I should treat myself to something that would be good for that.
That's really nice.
Well, congratulations. What a great one to start with.
Yeah, no, I'm
Looks very
really excited. This bracelet, it's funny because I own a early 2000s Grand Seiko, and they haven't switched the clasp. Although they did switch how the links, these screw in. They're not
Those are
hidden
screw.
collar. Yeah. These are screw.
Oh wow,
links. That's kind of cool.
the first Grand Seiko bracelet I've seen with
Right,
screw.
especially those half links. Usually,
Big
or
moves.
with the older bracelets were pin and collar, but this is far more convenient, and that explains why they sent me a flathead screwdriver, which is really convenient. So I'll be sizing this in a moment and placing it on my wrist. But no, this is very fun. I like it. I can't say that, I'm over the moon about this particular bracelet. It's you kind of see it in everyone's catalog, but it looks nice with the watch head.
I know you're a bracelet guy, but I feel like
Right.
that watch would look great on a lot of different strap.
Yeah.
Right.
options.
I wonder.
But is the lug like 19?
I don't know. I think it's 20 on
21.
this one. I think it's 20 on this one. Let me.
Gotta be
I
21.
feel like they've been in that habit of
They do a lot of 19.
Wow, this does not want to come off.
doing an odd size.
I would. It says H13, part H13. No, there's no lug size on there. But just judging, it looks like a 19, perhaps.
Oh yeah, maybe that's.
But feel free to take a look at it.
This Zenith is a,
That might even
is a
be
19 lug.
Oh, the Zenith is a 19?
18.
Yeah.
Really? Well,
Yeah, I mean,
Well, so is this Grand
It
Seiko.
looks like.
It's a
that's
19 as well.
that's
Wait, no,
19.
I
Yeah.
take it back.
Yeah.
It's not 20 though. I think.
That's 19.
Okay.
How do we feel about 19?
I think that's a 19.
It's a 19.
Oh, very
It's a
cool.
19.
Okay.
Oh,
19's
pretty good.
19's not so bad.
We've got leather
It's
straps.
not
we
so
got
bad these
nylons.
days.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many options.
If you
This
collect
is-
a Grand Seiko, it's acceptable
Yeah, exactly.
because they're all 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love like the
Yeah.
monochrome look of this one compared to the others.
Oh yeah,
You know,
with
the other
thoughts.
Yeah, this is the
9F
first time I've
GMTs,
seen this one in person.
That
obviously,
particular case. Yeah.
it's really nice. I mean, obviously, excellent finishing, nice bevel on there. I like the. Because it's a 9F, it's fairly. It's like thin, but not like too thin. But it has a better.
somewhere around 12 millimeters.
12.
Yeah.
I like the snowflake case is sort of similar, but I feel like the proportions on this are nicer because that part that's like underneath the bevel is a little bit shorter, which
Yeah.
plays a little nicer. That's beautiful. And yeah, something that I always like with GMTs that I've it's already has a fingerprint on it. Something with GMTs that I don't know. I guess sometimes bothers me is that the GMT hand has more weight than the other hands.
Right.
Even on the Tudor Black Bay Pro I have, it's like yellow.
Yeah.
It's like stands out. It's not too much like a bright red, but this it's like
Stark
it's matching.
white.
Yeah. Oh, that's really, really nice.
Yeah, feel free to take a look. Maybe we'll convert
Pass it around
Blake
the table.
yet. I know Blake never really
do you
immediately
not like-
You're not a
gravitates
Grand
towards. I don't
Seiko
think you've ever
owner.
owned one. Am I wrong?
No, I've never owned one. No, this actually
It doesn't have a date frame.
It doesn't have the frame around the date window.
That's one of
Do
your.
or don't like
I
that.
don't like that.
I like a frame.
It's just like common
Yeah.
for Grand Seiko.
To me,
specific thing.
like it's not a feature that I want like called out that
Right.
square.
It's subtle
But
here.
this now my brain, it's like strange that there isn't one on this dial.
Yeah.
this style. I do like this quite a bit though. And yeah, that hand is beautiful. Obviously, the closer you look at the hands, all the little shapes and bevels on there are really stunning.
Yeah. I think like 9F is such a great way to get into Grand Seiko. You've had Grand Seikos, but
Yeah.
for people that really want to buy into the brand and maybe don't have the budget for a $6,000 or $7,000 watch.
Don't be ashamed.
This is you're
No,
getting
no,
you're getting the
that's-
same level of finishing in just in a 9F.
And that's all the watch
Quartz
you
movement.
really ever need.
It's really, really cool.
The highest accuracy movement they
Yeah.
provide. So if that's relevant to you,
But there's
Yeah,
no
if you're-
soul in it, Patrick.
no, it's got a soul. It's just limping. No, I really appreciate this. I actually like it without the framing on the date window. That aperture, I like how thick the dial is, and you sort of make
Yeah.
out the material that it's
You can see it's
composed
like
of.
coated. It's like
Right. It's sort of I don't want to say it's enamel. I don't know if it is, but it looks like an enamel base layer, and you can see how it sort of curves to greet that aperture. But it's really lovely. Yeah, I'm very happy with this thus far.
When we made several years ago, like this series of sponsored videos for Grand Seiko about their movements. We're doing the 9F one, and Ilya, who was working out at the time, was like doing all this research on them. Like the second hand actually, it's not a 1 tick per second. It's a 2 tick. It actually hits a middle tick before, and there's some engineering reason for that, but it's like
If
you can
slow it
barely
down,
see
you can
it. Yeah, like
wow.
that's interesting.
and then there's even there's a backlash spring, which is like one of their things. Like in the motion of the second hand to like account for the shock of the torque, which like nobody else does. So that second hand doesn't like jar itself loose.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why second hands gets off. Like there's so much
over time. Yeah.
so much more like going on in a 9F quartz than your average
Yeah.
quartz, you know, not just thermocompensation and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's a really,
It's a really badass
Right.
movement.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Proportions are great.
yeah, it fits you
Sorry,
very
this is the
well.
longest wrist check you've ever heard.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
Right.
Unboxing.
an audio
unboxing, on wrist reaction. It's all of these things rolled in. one,
It's
so.
fantastic on the wrist. If you're looking at one of these are
Yeah.
perfectly lovely. The blue dial's great. I can't say I like the red accents on that one, but this black and white one is just fantastic. Yeah, those indexes are insane. They pick up so much light. One complaint I've seen is that people don't like the fact that all the markers aren't loomed. It's just the cardinal directions, but I kind of appreciate that. And it's impossible not to make out the time with how sharp those indexes are. They pick up
Yeah.
so much light. It's absurd. But yeah, expect the same level of detailing you'd get from any Grand Seiko model these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Still thinking about that. I think it's the SBGX331. I might get that wrong. That's a JDM 9F model in the elegance case that they do with like the hand wound spring drive movement, which so that you have this case in this handset that's usually in models that are like, you know, $8,000
Yeah.
in a $3,000, $3,500, like $3,500
Wow.
9F, but it's overseas only. But it is so
JDM,
cool.
we were talking
It's just
about that
gorgeous.
last night.
Yeah.
Like all the models that they do.
We kind of miss
Japan
out on-
only.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a friend in the office who had a Seiko diver with a spring drive in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was quite enamored with that.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, I really like that
Prospects.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
spring
that's
drive
right.
in a,
Yeah.
a Seiko looking Seiko.
Yeah.
They haven't done it in a little while, but they had these like Presage enamel dialed spring drives that were really cool too. Like,
Yeah.
and they had a designer that they worked with on the graphics. I don't want to say the wrong name, but it was a neat model that I feel like they haven't revisited that in a minute. It was
Yeah.
very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of cool under the radar watches from them to discover, maybe even more than you realize, more than I realized.
Yeah.
I think, and we pay attention to this stuff for a living.
I know.
So
And you're tracking down a Prospects LX.
there's a few things that I've got on my kind of like tracking, but because I think they'd be good to like
Yeah.
review and do stuff
Yeah.
with. And then like, potentially I would like to own one. Like
Yeah.
I've been thinking about like, I should probably have a Grand Seiko for a while now. And when they were on a tear there for a bit, and I was like, oh, they start
They
getting
still
like
are.
really close, but like in a specific like vein.
Yeah.
And like that white birch, I think that night
birch,
is
yeah.
probably the closest one. I have not seen one of those in person though.
I think that, I mean, I'm not in the market right now, but like that, I feel like the night birch seems like the most tempting model currently.
It's so nice.
Titanium, the 9SA5 movement.
And that
the
dial in the black or the charcoal or whatever it is, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind
It
of
looks
looks
really
ooh,
good.
I could see myself liking that. So,
Like
yeah.
November 18th is their big, GS9 summit in,
yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be there, and they usually have stuff on display. So I'm hoping to check that out. And then they just came out with another titanium model, their first Iwate dial, Evolution 995, but it's also titanium. Looks absolutely fantastic.
That
I
was
love the
one last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a week. Very pretty.
Yeah. I love me some Grand Seiko.
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get us there. I'm coming around.
Yeah.
I'm not quite as like on the maturity level as you guys. Yeah, I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
Kat, you recently returned from vacation.
Yeah. I had a great trip.
Did you just take one watch with you?
I took one watch.
You took one watch
I
with you.
took one camera, which sounds very simple, but for me it's not because I tend to bring
A lot of
multiples
stuff.
of each.
Okay. You kept it simple.
I kept it simple.
One watch, one dog, one husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the one.
Just the one, yeah. No, we took a great fall road trip up the coast from Boston all the way up to Maine to Acadia National Park, and yeah, soaked it all in and had a great time visiting fishing towns and stuff like that. But I will be doing an out of office editorial piece on my trip and all the stops I made and all the food stops. And feel free to take that route when you go up there.
Did you like go camping or?
No, we stayed at some really great kind of bed and breakfast place is really quaint. Like I wanted to just soak it
Yeah,
all
the quaint
in.
New England.
Yeah, it felt
for
like
sure.
I was in
That's
like
awesome.
Gilmore Girls, honestly. Like it's pretty
I thought
perfect.
you were going to say like a Stephen King
Or
novel,
Stephen
you know?
King. So we did actually drive by Stephen King's house
Oh, cool.
in Bangor, Maine. And that was really fun. He had like spiders built into his iron gate outside.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it just looked really creepy.
Halloween, or is that just
Just
No,
all
it's
the
just
time.
how it
That's
is.
how you know.
He's always
Yeah,
a
I
little
actually
spooky.
don't think he's currently living there. He moved to his house in Florida, but there's a ton of people taking pictures outside, and it's super cool. If you're a Stephen King fan, go to Maine. You'll see all the things
okay.
you see in It and all the other scary stories.
So it's
that he
creepy.
does.
It's got a creepy vibe.
It's definitely creepy vibe up there, yeah.
I like that.
But
Perfect
in a
time of
good
year.
way. Yeah, we went to Salem, Mass as well, which was
Oh, wow. Okay.
fun. There's a lot of witches walking around.
Yeah. All right.
But it was a great time. And like the time to go is in the fall. Like there's just no better place
Interesting.
to be.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I would love to make that trip. My wife and I have been talking for a long time about getting up to Maine and experiencing that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely on our to-do list.
But yeah, I took the Submariner with me. It was a watch that was easy. Went with everything that I wore.
124060.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. Do you guys have a hard time like taking one watch when you go on? Like, because even coming here to Windup, I was like, I want to bring so many watches with me. So I only brought 2. Maybe I'll pick up another at the show. Who knows? But yeah.
I do have a hard time. I think about it. I'm like, I love the idea of it and such a
Yeah.
great opportunity to just like bond with one watch. But then you're like, but I kind of want that one
Yeah.
and that one. You know, what if this one, you know, or something.
Yeah.
A few times I have traveled with just one watch, though. I've
Do you
enjoyed
get the
it.
itch after, like, if you've only brought one watch? Do you get the itch like, oh man, I wish I would have brought something else?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. So like I pack for it, but if you just don't, then you can just appreciate
Yeah.
the watch.
Yeah.
You know, I
Think
don't.
about it. You just
Yeah. But yeah, right now we're in New York, so I have all my watches.
Yeah.
all
Oh, my
watches.
So nothing but temptation for
I know.
to think about it for like a while every morning, particularly for Windup. It's like, what story am I trying to tell here today? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. We've talked about this because Zach Kazan would famously bring like one watch to a thing, and
Yeah.
I'd give him trouble for it.
Yeah.
you know, because his answer was like, you know, well, I would lose the other watches if I brought them. I'm like, what do you
Yeah.
mean you lose them? But and then Josh, a producer at the other studio, you know, he was very adamant about like experience and getting different experiences
Yeah.
in these different watches and having them all.
Yeah.
So you know, I've kind of like been on both sides, but
Yeah.
I've found that I've like really started to appreciate just having one watch. And nowadays, like I usually like when I'm traveling between time zones, I usually just travel in one watch, which is my
Yeah.
GMT, which I know lame, boring, all that kind of stuff, but it's like a great watch to travel in.
No,
Better
man,
watch
totally.
to travel in, yeah.
So
I mean, that's
it's
part of why I wanted the Blackwood Pro when I got it, and then like
Yeah.
immediately got to wear it on a trip to London, ironically with Tudor. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
wore
that
just
was
that
right
watch,
after.
and it was
Yeah.
it did its job.
Yeah.
You know, it was and I was like, and because of the style of that watch and everything, you don't feel weird in any situation with it. You know, I'm taking a little trip at the end of December. It's going up to Montreal. I'm gonna have to face this decision. There's no difference in time zone, I don't believe there, just straight up. But yeah, you know, who knows? There'll be some nice dinners, but there'll also be, you know, I don't know, walks in the snow.
Yeah.
Ice skating, I think, is
And see,
something.
those are the things that go through
I
my
didn't think
head. So
about
I'm
that.
like, okay, we might go out somewhere nice to eat,
Yeah.
or then I might go hiking, and
Yeah.
the sub just kind of fit in because like I'm not wearing a cocktail dress anywhere, so like I can wear the sub.
Oh yeah, it's super
Yeah.
easy to get
Yeah.
like whatever you're doing, except
Exactly.
like the very very low and the very very high, like everywhere in between. Like it's not gonna look
Yeah.
out of place.
Yeah.
you know?
No, I rocked it pretty well, and I'm excited to share that piece with our audience for sure.
So you didn't find yourself longing for any of your other watches?
No,
while you were
actually,
there?
no. And that's probably the only watch I could have taken with me and felt that with.
Yeah.
If I had taken something else, I think I would have missed the other watches. But that sub, I've said it on this podcast probably before, but I could sell everything else and just live with
yeah.
that watch.
Even
and be
you,
happy.
Grand Seiko.
Even the Grand
Even you.
Seiko.
Again.
poor Grand Seiko.
Was you're close to Zach Kazan? I feel like is close to buying a Pelagos for the third time.
Oh man, see, we should do
LHD,
like this whole
which,
thing on like.
Yeah, yeah. He went through a phase where he's like, "Nah, I don't need 2 watches.
Yeah,
Those are for the birds." And then got just like, you know,
comes back.
yeah. And then you know,
Haunts
it
you.
eventually kind of like you know, and then he picked up that Seiko SBB 143.
Yeah.
you know, some similar watches. So, you know, it's okay to like this stuff, even if you know, I don't dive.
Yeah,
I swim under a boat. but I don't think that qualifies as diving. I still like dive watches, and it's just an aesthetic that like I like a lot.
I think the hurdle that you have to get over is it's okay to not wear this watch every day. It's okay that it's not my everyday watch. And once I kind of got over that, it was like, all right, I can own this watch.
Yeah.
But Patrick, how you doing over there?
How you getting that thing set?
This is the weirdest link system. It's a series of small grub screws and then a solid bar that goes into the center link. So you're contending with the tension of the top screw and the bottom screw. I feel like I really need two of these.
Ooh, I don't like those.
Flat heads. This is a very awkward setup.
Yeah, you need to be
interesting. So
like this.
Time,
Yeah, well,
but
we're getting there.
It's two heads. It's not like it's not a screw bar through with a head on the other side.
No, it's exactly. It's the one bar,
Yes,
collar or sleeve, and then it's just the two.
Omega
grub
does that a
screws.
lot.
Why?
Now that
We're gonna
I see
stop
that,
at one link.
Yeah. Now that I see that, I think
that
I think
fits.
their sport bracelets are like that. I recall when I reviewed the Spring Drive GMT a couple years ago with the ceramic bezel that I sized the bracelet and I was like, wow, this is a task.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Why do this to me?
How did it compare to the Manasseh?
The Manasseh is a whole nother
It's like
level.
another planet.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, I mean, they have this incredibly clever system where
Clever.
there's a single screw on the back of the link that holds it together. And then there's like several pieces, like each link is like 5 pieces that sort of fit together like a little jigsaw.
Wow.
And if you don't pay attention in the beginning, you don't know the series, the way they kind of go together.
So you need like a map to pick.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while to figure out, especially because the pieces that were by the end of the bracelet and the lug were a little bit different too.
Yeah.
So then you had to be wary of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one was that was like fun, but it was like a brain teaser.
And you didn't know, like you unscrew that screw, and then it's like, oh, it just like shatters in
it's
front
like,
of you almost.
just take it apart. You're like, oh, now I have it here. Yeah.
I always admire people that take their watches in to a jeweler to get size. I don't have the patience for that. I'm doing it myself.
no
I'm
way.
scratching.
way.
I'm scratching some lugs. I'm doing it.
Totally.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
also like putting in like nothing against like watchmakers or whatever, but like it's putting a lot of trust into somebody who like is just as likely to have never seen this weird ass
Right.
system
Yeah.
before
Right.
too.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna do their best.
Yeah.
Like
It depends on the link system. Like I wouldn't give them a Manasseh. That's really just throwing an obstacle at them.
yeah.
But if it was something simple, sure. But I trust myself more than anyone.
You also need to have the right tools. I remember with the Manasseh, it's also like a really wide flat screw. So it wasn't like a jewelry screw. So you happen to have some like a screwdriver. I don't know what the hell you
I have a
use
lot
it
of
for. It has
random
nothing to do with
tools
watches.
on my desk.
And like I used that to get it started, but it was like an 8-inch long screwdriver that like just happened to have the right
It's like
size.
bathroom repairs.
Yeah, totally.
That IWC GST 2000 that we have in here, which
beauty.
if you're listening and you're expecting the review to come up, was unfortunately sold. It didn't belong to any of us. So we no longer have that watch. I'm trying to source another one right now, though.
Yeah.
There's some steel ones out there, but this was a titanium one, so I'm trying to find another one. So anyways, keep an eye out for that if you know of one.
You teased it on Instagram, didn't you? at
I
one
did,
point?
and now I feel like a real
Sorry, guys.
So yeah, sorry, my apologies.
You didn't give him a deadline. You didn't say when.
It's coming. Okay, I really like the short
work
time that
on
we
it.
had it here.
That was such a cool
It
watch.
was awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this,
That was really
the getting the links out of this was really something else. It was a toolless system. So each link on the back had a little button that you could press with like a ballpoint pen or a toothpick
kinda
or
like a
something like that.
Cartier.
So you press the button, and then you could also use like a little pen or toothpick and just push a rod out. So that like you push the thing down, the button down on the back of the link, and then push the rod through, and it would come out. So there's no screws, no
Yeah.
sleeves, no nothing like
That's
that.
a lot like the Santos, like the Cartier Santos bracelet. It's got a little pin. You push it, and it actually automatically pops out.
Just pops out.
And you just pull it with your finger, and it's fantastic.
See, that would have been.
Yeah.
I was expecting that from it, so I kept
do like
pressing it
that
and trying to
watch a
take
lot.
it, and then I realized I
Yeah.
have to push
The Seiko Giugiaro Ripley's are kind of like that too.
yeah.
They have a button on the back, but I remember with that, like not all of them would do it. So sizing that one was a monster. I think I have to check. It might still be on YouTube or whatever, but like I made a video of like how to size that bracelet
Oh wow.
back in the day because I was like, this is not this is so terribly difficult. Like,
does it have like 1 million views? Because every single
that makes me. I totally forgot about it. So I wonder if it's still there, or if it was just in the review that I did a section of that. But I just remember distinctly being like, "This is very difficult." And then you have to hammer these like wide. It doesn't have pins. It has these like wide sheets of metal that kind of keep it together. Very strange.
I just put a search on Watch Recon for that watch.
Oh yeah, like an original or the
either. Yeah, just whatever pops up.
The originals are really cool. I mean, I like the one
without
I have.
the date. Honestly, the original, because the date cuts into one of the subdials for the modern one. Like the original Chronosport, I forget the naming for it. There's a couple different variations.
They might
of
have been
dial.
Speedmasters, some of them.
Yeah, they were Speedmasters. Excuse me, because they had a little racing helmet icon on the clasp, I believe. Yeah, those are really cool.
All the modern ones have to have the date. Your Mark II is the same way. The original one didn't have a date down there, and the new one they carve a date into the 6
it's
o'clock.
funny, and it's something that the watch community tends to dislike is when they put the date on it. But I think the non-watch community, like people that are going to buy a watch, want the date. They want the date. So I get why it's there.
Yeah,
it's also just like it's always so funny with that, like the Pelagos 39. It's just like if you put the date, the non-date people are going, "Rah." But if you don't take them at the date, people are going, "Rah."
Exactly.
They just fill in the space no matter what you do.
The exexecution on the Mark II though is pretty nifty.
Yeah,
it's
looks
like
good.
super out of
the date
like,
wheel
you wouldn't even
matches
really notice
the dial.
It. It's all symmetrical. So. Yeah, we should do an article now that I'm thinking about it on weird link bracelet construction design. Because I mean, a lot of times, you don't even realize it until you have one in your hands, and then you're kind of figure, even people like us who handle lots of watches, we're still kind of put in positions of what.
I will say, like the Omega Loctite that they use, I've never had any watch harder. I actually had to take that one. So. Good friend of mine, Catlin, used to work at Omega, and I had to take it to her, and she had to do it for me.
Shout out screw bars too.
Yeah,
so screw bars with
like
Loctite.
So she had to. They had this fancy thing where I could do both. But it was like I tried to put a lighter to it, tried to heat it up, and just not.
It's still like all nicked up and charred when you took it in.
To the point of like the screw like not being able to like come out of it. So I was like, all right, I gotta take this in.
I remember the very first time I encountered like a screw bar with a screw head on the other end, like a 2-sided screw. It was a Stova Pro Diver, and it belonged to a friend of Blake Mallon's, and we borrowed from. And I could not adjust, get it sized, and you start slipping very quickly on a screw head, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna ruin this thing. And then I read you need a vise to do this right. So I end up getting, and I had this huge table vise in my apartment just for this one task. So you could hold a screwdriver in there, and then you push, the watch in, and it makes it infinitely easier, but it's a ridiculous thing to have to do. For one-side screw bars. Tudor does it now. I mean, that's all you need.
Bracelets.
Yeah.
One the same. They come with 2 little.
Oh, they come with the 2. Yeah, the double. Yeah. One of the most clever bracelet. Huh? We're just apparently a bracelet episode. Who knew? One of the most clever bracelet mechanisms.
He's still sizing this bracelet, people.
Yeah, this is a rather.
It looks like he's into the fine tuning stages, though.
Well, I just took off a half link, which I regret now.
Oh boy!
Because for some reason,
why'd you start with the half link?
The threading. Well, I started with a whole link, and then it looked like a half link would do, but. I don't know anymore. I'm losing my mind. You're talking about slipping on screw heads. Well, I've done that a couple of times. So, the Zaratsu on this half link isn't as attractive as it used to be. But for some reason, the threading is just not connecting with that center link. And I don't know. I'd like to think it's not me because I've certainly changed a lot of bracelets before. But yeah, this is not my favorite solution, Grand Seiko. Let's bring this back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
If you hear a bang, it's Patrick throwing the watch across the room.
Testing that shock.
Exactly. How reliable is the 9F movement? Let's find out.
So I was just going to say the one of the best bracelet mechanisms or link holder together things. Solution. Solution. The G-Shock metal bracelets are held together by small spring bars. So
love that.
Yeah. You just push.
Really?
You just push in. It retracts. You pop it apart. Put it all back together. So easy. I don't know. Maybe
in the G-Shock metal series.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then Timex actually has. I'm just thinking about all the cool bracelets on some of the like the Q, like the Malibu Q models. They have you can do it entirely tool free by hand. There's just buttons, like push buttons on the back of them, and you can kind of just pop it all apart and put it all back together. I gave one to my sister, and literally, like in a restaurant at dinner, I just sized it for her.
Yeah, I'm all about
there.
like the toolless
awesome.
like way to go about it.
When you come across a good solution like that, why do these like ridiculous solutions still exist when you can have it so easy like that? That was at IWC. You taking that out.
Did it? Did you do it?
Did he get it? Did he get it?
I think so.
Okay, it's going on. It's going on the wrist. Buckling it up and
that's good. That's good. Get a finger under there. Shouldn't.
You like it loose. You like it that loose.
Yeah, I paid for those links.
Wow.
No. I want to be able to stick.
It's not enough to have them just in your apartment. Yeah.
My philosophy is, at least from older Grand Seiko manual, was there should be at least a finger's length distance from your wrist and the bracelet, and that way if it swells there's more than enough space for your wrist to expand.
Wow.
But
also a lot of motion.
But I mean, as long as it doesn't rotate over my wrist easily, then I'm good. And then it has room to fall either direction. It works.
I don't know. That would bug me because when I move, I talk with I'm very emotive, right? So my watch would be flinging all over the place if I did that.
I think that works. We're gonna stop there anyways, and I'll deal with this later.
Is that a thing?
For the sake of this episode,
I've not heard that need to put the finger in.
It was really
it
was a cute manual with like little caricatures, sort of playing out the instructions in the manual. It was all Japanese, so I really
so you were just visually.
That might have been the wrong way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But there was like a little guide where it showed the fingers under the wrist and above the bracelet, and that was the amount of space you should provide. And then it showed a guy like sweating playing golf or something, and the concept was there is enough room now that it can expand. Sans, an actual ratcheting or expansion system, because that's also an option.
It needs it needs a quick adjust.
It does.
Yeah,
that's my one gripe with those. Yeah.
These clasps don't really have that.
Don't have it.
No. Did yours come with a bracelet?
No, mine did not come with a bracelet.
Yeah, lucky you.
I don't know. Do you wear your watches that loose?
No.
Oh, wow.
But I also I generally don't like bracelets at all.
Yeah.
I really rarely wear them. The only watch I've been keeping on the bracelet is the Black Bay Pro, and that has the T-Fit, which kind of makes up for that. And I adjust it all the time, constantly. So
it's fun.
I guess the Orfina I've been wearing on the bracelet, but that's like a vintage, very
that's like a part of the
bracelet. Yeah. It's comfortable.
Yeah. What about you? You
I actually wear mine. I think very similar to Patrick.
Oh, do you like pretty loose?
Loose? Yeah.
Because you keep some of your watches on the bracelets.
Oh yeah.
The sub, right?
Yeah, the sub pretty much stays. Although I did acquire an Everest strap for it when it looks really good on it. It's very comfortable.
The 1-2 references hold different straps much better than the 1-1s that I have, because that lug, like you really notice the lug thickness when you put a different strap on. So it needs the bracelet, I think. Obviously yours has that slim down lug, so it like takes to anything.
Yeah,
pretty well.
They did a really good job. It fits in with the case extremely well.
But it's 21 millimeters.
It is 21. Yeah. I know.
30 meters, fine. 21 millimeters, get out of here.
21's fine.
No, never.
Never. Not okay. Let us know how you wear your bracelets. Do you need to have a finger go between the bracelet and your?
I don't feel like that's like a.
Does it need to be your finger
for like a dress shirt?
Yeah.
That's like something like.
Oh,
for the,
like it's got.
There's some rules there
That's
you're supposed to follow if you're.
Maybe we're just unaware of these rules and we've just been doing it wrong this whole time. Let us know how you wear your bracelets, how you size your bracelets. If you have any cool trick bracelet linkage systems out there that we need to know about, send them our way.
Tell us your horror stories.
Yeah, tell us how badly have you messed up a watch because you had to change, you had to size it the moment you got it.
You ever punctured a finger with a spring bar tool? Like that's happened to me.
Yeah, I have really done that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
have you lost spring bars? Have you lost tiny screws? Have you maimed your bracelet beyond youth from your impatience, let us know. We want to hear about it. And again, if you came by Windup, thank you. We loved seeing you, of course. And we will have a full report, including watch spottings and all that kind of awesome stuff coming after the show very shortly. So keep an eye out for that kind of stuff, as well as our discussions with a lot of the brands, which will be coming onto the site shortly. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take care.
Adios.
Sayonara.